With the Dutch Grand Prix just around the corner, marking the conclusion of the summer hiatus, the F1 teams will be competing fervently for the topmost spots with revived enthusiasm. Currently standing at number 2 in the constructor rankings, Mercedes is preparing for a notable set of upgrades at Zandvoort, building on their substantial recent enhancements showcased in Belgium. So without further ado, let's take a look at what summer breakthrough Mercedes has planned for the upcoming weekend. Mercedes has recently unveiled a strategic approach they believe will help them close the performance gap and catch up to their fierce rivals, Red Bull. The revelation came from none other than their Chief Technical Officer Mike Elliott, who shared their newly identified direction for development. This announcement follows a challenging campaign in 2022, a season marked by unexpected issues that hampered their progress. With high hopes pinned on the subsequent year's regulations, Mercedes aim to rebound and reclaim their dominance. However, the start of the 2023 season did not unfold as Mercedes had imagined. They found themselves struggling to match the pace of their competitors, even falling behind their own customer team, Aston Martin. The situation was less than ideal for a team that had grown accustomed to leading the pack. Despite these early setbacks, there were glimmers of improvement as the season progressed. Mercedes managed to secure the second spot in the championship standings. Despite the advancements made, the gap between Mercedes and Red Bull remains substantial.
Into the chicane, this time around Hamilton is just a little too far back to make the move on Verstappen.
Red Bull's consistent dominance raises questions about what Mercedes needed to do differently. It was at this critical juncture that Mercedes decided to implement a change in their car's concept. This decision was accompanied by a comprehensive set of upgrades that were introduced during the Monaco Grand Prix. Mike Elliott's optimism about Mercedes's new direction was evident in his statements during a Q&A session on the team's official website, where he said, "We're engineers and are interested in the technology," he said. As Niki Lauda famously said, "You learn more when you lose than when you are winning." I feel like it was a big learning journey through last year and into this year. The hope is we've uncovered the learnings we need now, and we can keep developing in one direction. Sitting in my position, to look at things through a slightly wider lens, it's nice to see the learnings. You then illuminate another bit of the path, and it gets clearer. James Allison, the esteemed technical director of Mercedes, candidly admitted that the team had been overly cautious in their approach to the W14 car as a reaction to a significant rule change affecting ride height. Although we made great strides last year, 2023 presented all the teams with a rule change that offered some protection against bouncing, he added. Over the winter, we faced a choice: go aggressive and trade the bouncing protection in the rule change for performance, or take a more cautious route and steer clear of the sort of porpoising that wrecked our season last year. We chose the cautious path, knowing that it would be less painful to correct if we were wrong. In hindsight, Allison recognized that their cautious strategy had held them back and necessitated corrective actions. This realization defined their journey in the current season, focused on rectifying the initial approach and embracing a more performance-oriented mindset. The Belgian Grand Prix also offered a platform for George Russell to share his insights about the experience. Russell, one of Mercedes' drivers, has commented on Mercedes facing challenges on the Spa track due to issues with car stability. He described the issue as a suffering for the team. Nonetheless, they are drawing inspiration from their previous successful cars as they navigate towards the future. The team had clinched 8 consecutive Constructors' Championships in the wake of the turbo hybrid era. However, the regulations reset in 2022 had marked a shift in power, with Red Bull and Max Verstappen taking the lead, while the Mercedes team struggled to meet their own high standards. In the recent Formula One era, Russell secured the team's sole victory at Sao Paulo last year. Although Mercedes has managed to secure a solid second position in the constructors' standings this season, their points tally remains significantly lower than that of Red Bull, at 503 versus 247. Russell felt he was boxed in at the start of the weekend's Belgian Grand Prix, causing him to lose places at the start, and was happy to see the back of the weekend as the dreaded word bouncing came out of his and Lewis Hamilton's mouths after the race. Still, the Belgian Grand Prix has brought somewhat encouraging signs for Mercedes, particularly with Hamilton securing a 4th-place finish. Hamilton's achievement was accentuated by his claim to the fastest lap point, a remarkable feat on a track known for its drag-related challenges. However, Lewis himself had this to say about his performance: "It was kind of an uneventful race, not much going on. Hamilton said of his drive at Spa. "I wasn't able to keep up with the cars ahead of me. The rear end was our biggest issue. We had big bouncing this weekend. Back to the bouncing like last year. They don't know. To me, it is a concern. We'll work through the data this week and try and work out what to do for the next race. I know what I want, I'm praying for it, and just waiting for the day we get it." The upcoming Zandvoort Grand Prix holds the promise of a double podium finish for Mercedes, owing to the circuit's similarities to others like Barcelona and Silverstone. Notably, adjustments were made to the side pod profile, with a primary focus on enhancing rear load generation. Mercedes attributed the bouncing challenges to setup concerns, expressing confidence in their ability to fine-tune the W14 car. Mercedes team principal Toto Wolff agreed with Lewis Hamilton that the bouncing was a concern. "The car was bouncing on every straight, and even Blanchimont was a corner that Lewis was having to lift, and that is usually an easy flat," said the Austrian. "You bounce on the straight, you overheat the tires on braking, and that is a vicious circle. We have got to get on top of it." Mercedes' strategy was clear, introducing a new floor specification at the Dutch GP. This specification would align with the side pod modifications and represent a comprehensive upgrade package. James Allison's insights have been invaluable in understanding Mercedes' approach. He emphasized the need to make the car more reassuring for drivers during initial turns, seeking to mitigate any reactive behavior. Allison believed that achieving consistent downforce numbers was instrumental in achieving this goal, anchoring the car to the racing surface. As the Zandvoort Grand Prix approaches, James Allison's aims to implement a new underfloor specification, leveraging the W14 car as a testing ground for his ideas. This strategy will allow Allison to explore innovations while simultaneously directing his attention towards the development of the W15 car for the next season. Recently, the speculation surrounding Lewis Hamilton's contract extension has added an air of intrigue to Mercedes' narrative. Despite the summer break typically serving as an opportune time for such announcements, no official confirmation had been made. This uncertainty has raised questions about Hamilton's potential plans. While Hamilton had downplayed rumors, the absence of an announcement fueled speculations about his future. Does Hamilton have reservations about committing to a team that might not provide the platform needed for an 8th championship title? Nonetheless, Hamilton's skill and determination have remained unwavering. As he returned to the racing scene, he held a significant lead over his teammate George Russell, while Russell's remarkable performance in the previous season had posed a challenge to Hamilton's dominance. This dynamic added another layer of complexity to Mercedes' journey. The team's identification of a new development direction, as revealed by Mike Elliott, signifies their commitment to narrowing the performance gap with Red Bull. Despite setbacks, Mercedes remains focused on its quest for success, and all that left to see